So this is Psychotria Borginis, and if you look at under the leaf, there are the quote-unquote candles that you usually see on viridis. There you can see viridis. It has those what people here call candles, and I tested this species for indoles in the past, and it is full of indoles based on the Ulrich reagent. However, on my very first attempt of doing a traditional hexane extraction, I did get a minuscule amount. I repeated this same experiment maybe 2 weeks ago, and this time I had zero or near zero end product at the end. I wanted to repeat it to test, since I have TLC plates that I made it, the silica TLC plates that I have. I wanted to verify the alkaloid present, but I was unable to get enough material to test that. So next time, this round I did 20 grams dry, or probably a little less, but around 20 grams. And the next attempt I'll try a higher amount of dry material. Based on reports, basically from a single source that I have found on this is used more as an additive to the traditional ayahuasca brew, but there isn't enough content for itself. And from the people that have reported the usage based on this one source, it increased, or it showed lots of promise. So this is one of them, and this is another Psychotria species. This one is even harder to pronounce. It starts with an N, Nina sinensis or something. And you can see on the underleaf, it also shows the candles. And this one, the leaf is very different. It has a wavy or ruffled leaf edge, and it's smaller in general. This one grows very fast, however, and it's a fairly attractive plant in my opinion. So I'll be keeping this just one plant, or one planter, and it didn't have any issues with at least my full sun conditions. Here I attempted to graft Psychotria viridis. I uncovered the graft after 2 weeks. Maybe it was a bit too early. 2 of them failed completely, but these 2 show at least a little bit of promise. If it fails again, I'll attempt it one more time. I'll cut it at the top and do one more graft, and I'll leave it longer covered. But so far it's still fairly firm, and it shows a little bit of promise of taking. If it does take, hopefully it'll grow really fast, and I'll test the content later. And here is the leaves from the Nivanesis, I have no idea how to pronounce it, and some stems as well. I'll weigh this and then attempt a traditional extraction as well to see if I can get a measurable yield at the end, and then I'll try to do a TLC plate to verify if it's the traditional DMT or not. Again, this has the same usage as the other Borginis, where it's more of an additive rather than a standalone replacement for the Psychotria viridis. And here is my most recent purchase. I bought another Psychotria This one I have zero plans for using as a viridis replacement, but I do have some expectations to try this as a MAOI source. This is Psychotria sugeris. Starts with an S. All of the names are in the video. And this one, based on the paper, this one and another Psychotria with an L. It shows MAOI and MAOB inhibition, and based on the activity levels based on the extract, I believe it's on par with the CAPI, and that would mean between 20 and 50 grams of leaf should replace the CAPI as a MAOI source. So this one is going to be another long-term project of mine. I really enjoy testing novel plants. I'm not suggesting anyone do this since there's basically no usage reports on this, but it's my, I guess you could say my calling, but it's just my personal interest. I really like it. And once this is large enough, hopefully it grows quite quickly. I'll test starting at 10 grams. I'll test the tea and then 20, 30 grams, like incrementing slowly, and testing with a pure extract of the viridis to see at what level the inhibition starts to be noticeable. So yeah, I got 2 new leaves since I received this plant. You can see the fresher leaves, and I think it was not expensive really, but I did think it would be a slightly larger cutting, but it's basically the only source I found, and it came pretty well packaged, so I'm quite satisfied. For the chariponga, the decap Psychotria viridis replacement plant, I recently cut it back a bit. There's a lot of new sprouts, and I'm trying to root the 3 cuttings I made. In the future, I do want to try to graft this onto the CAPI to see if it works. If not, it's fine. And the grasses are starting to flower. I do think it's from the True Color application. It's causing them to maybe stress or something and inducing flowering. And in the way of experiments, that's pretty much it so far. I also tried to do the Hagar's reagent with the picric acid, and I pretty much failed, not so much on the synthesis since I wasn't expecting a high yield, but on the application I tried to add it to the cactus extract that I made, and the application needs to be a higher concentration, so I pretty much messed up. I tried to recover the picric acid and it was pretty much a fail, and I just messed up like completely. The 1 gram that I had, I ended up just discarding it, and I'll need to remake another small batch to test it again. There are lots of old papers on picric acid. I thought it would be a better precipitating agent, but it needs to still be a concentrated solution. But I'll reattempt that in the future. I don't really have a rush for that. I also want to try doing an extract on Astrophytum at some point. So thanks for all my supporters and everyone that comments. To all my supporters, really big thank you, especially 1Atom12 for your continued support. And my more recent supporters like Glass and a few others. Thanks a lot. I have purchased a few reagents. Some of them still haven't come in, but slowly I'll be working on different projects and stuff. And one more thing I just remembered. I want to test salicylic acid for increasing content, similar to my True Color formula. I'll do the same setup. I'll make a control and then the application. It'll be 2 weeks after the application. I'll do the extract to see if it increased or not. And another one I want to do is revisit the CO2 bubbling of the tea to see if I can get the the carbonate that I did a small test run on, and I'm pretty sure it worked, but I need to do it with a larger supply. So that's pretty much it for my future plans on some experiments. It seems that this year I didn't get any flowers on my Trichoceres brigesi monstros, but I'll keep training this, like I mentioned, trying to keep it at 1 or 2 columns only from the base, and I'll keep trying to induce it to flower. The other 8 applications that I did for inducing flowering, it did seem to work, but not so much for larger cacti. Maybe they're just not mature enough, either these or my other Trichoceres, but they do work on these smaller cacti. And regardless, they were already blooming age, so maybe that plays a larger influence on it.